final episode of the NFL Mount Rushmore Series. Carl Coulage for the Sports Hit List, by the fans and for the fans. What a ride it has been doing this Mount Rushmore. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. Special shout out to the entire NFL contributors of the Sports Hit List for developing this and riding through it. Let me introduce my panel. We have the reigning, defending MVP of the Sports Hit List, Mr. Paul, the great Paul Lawson. How you doing, bro?
Listen, man, it's an honor. Shout out to everybody watching. We only want to give you the best of the best from the best of the best. And Paul the Great is here to give that to you, baby.
We have the New York native, Florida resident, Mr. Ricardo Etienne is in the building. Ricardo, how you doing, man?
Yes, the evil one is back. I'm back for one last round of mayhem, man. I'm doing good, yo. I'm glad to be here.
We have Mr. Box Office himself headlining the Sports Hit List all week with his football takes. Mr. Travis McKay, Box Office, how you doing, sir?
I'm tired, Carl. I've been educating all week, man. It's exhausting out here, man. I'm trying to teach y'all, I'm tired, man.
Keep educating. And we have, for the first time, joining the Mount Rushmore, Mr. Tim Haggerty out of Milwaukee. Tim, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm doing well. Very happy to be here making my Mount Rushmore debut. Very anxious to see if the panel is going to run me into the ground, but I'm here to defend. So,
how is it in Milwaukee? Everything all right up there?
Oh yeah, everything's been good. Obviously, we're all hiding in place like everybody else around the world, but doing well. Everything's been good for sure.
All right, so this is how it's played. You guys know the rules. You get 4 picks for coaches. This is the final one. We're selecting our top coaches NFL history, and then from there on, we can decide. Mr. Box Office, I'll give you the floor first since you've been leading the headlines this week. So you get the first pick. Go for it.
No problem, man. I'm real simple this week with it, man. I'm going to start my list off with Don Schuler, man. Only coach with the undefeated season, including the Super Bowl, a 128 record wins, 156 losses, another 36 in playoff wins, man. Like I said, only coach right there to finish the job undefeated, so he got to make the list. Next, we going to hit Mr. Bill Belichick, man. I know y'all going to be ready to hate on that man because he's a cheater, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? He wins. The league is still letting him coach, so therefore he gets a spot on here. My man's got 273 wins with another 127 losses, 31 playoff wins. Got a bunch of Super Bowl rings right there. Got to put Bill Belichick on that list. Next,
Get to the list, Nobody wants your Google content. Get to the rest of the list.
All right, I'm gonna put next on the list. We got Bill Walsh, man. Bill Walsh is an innovator of the modern NFL. His West Coast offense is still a staple in today's NFL. His coaching tree is ridiculous, from Mike Holmgren, Mike McCarthy, John Gruden, Mike Shanahan, Jim Fisher, Gary Kubiak. The list goes on and on, all right? Anybody in the coaching ranks today has a tie pretty much to Bill Walsh. Last but not least, I'm going to go Tony Dungy, okay? Now, Tony Dungy might not have the record of some of my other Mount Rushmore picks, but I'm going to be 100% honest. This was for the culture, okay? Tony Dungy's coaching tree is elite, all right? He has a Super Bowl ring on his resume. He doesn't get the credit for the Tampa Bay, but we all know it was his team that won that championship right there. His coaching, what he has done for African-American coaches in this league is worthy of Mount Rushmore status. And there you go.
All right, so Don Shula, Bill Belichick, Bill Walsh, and Tony Dungy. Let's go to Tim, the newbie. Tim, who's on your list?
Yeah, so I have a couple similar to Travis, but Bill Walsh is one that stands out right away. The West Coast offense stands out as something that is not only a successor statistic, but something that transcended the whole sport at both the pro level and the college level. It's used really in all sorts of levels now, including even, Pee Wee in high school. So that's definitely something that stands out in a legacy that will continue to carry on, since I don't think the offense is going anywhere. Not to mention 3 Super Bowls doesn't hurt at all. Don Shula, another one, right off the bat, made 6 Super Bowls. He's got 2 rings to show for it. He's also the only coach that led a team to being undefeated, which of course does give some credit to the team. But it's the coach's job to right that ship, and keeping a team perfect for an entire year is incredibly difficult and deserves recognition. Next, I also have Bill Belichick. Yes, I know, a cheater, but at the bottom of the line, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 wins, and I'm a firm believer that the Patriots are a team built on his leadership and the culture that he built in New England over all the years, which is why I think the team will succeed beyond the Brady era. And last but not least, Vince Lombardi. And that is not biased because I'm here in Wisconsin and everybody here would put Vince Lombardi number 1 on their list. But for crying out loud, the trophy is named after him. I mean, they named the championship after the coach. Doesn't hurt that he was 9-1 in the playoffs overall and also has a couple Super Bowls to show for it. The first 2.
All right. So Bill Walsh, Don Schuler, Bill Belichick, and Vince Lombardi. Let's go to Paul the Great. Paul, who's on your list? You're on the clock.
I just want to go out there. I want to add to Vince Lombardi while he's fresh off the top of my mind because he's on my list as well. Vince actually won 5 times. He won the Super Bowl, which is his trophy, twice, and he won 3 times before that. And you think about a guy doing 10 years at the coaching position to do what he did. I think it was like 96 and like 30 in 10 years as we pioneered to learn the sport of football nationally. Vince is on there, and without a doubt. Bill Belichick is also on there. You guys cited all his accolades. The thing that stands out the most is the 31-12 in the playoffs for me. Mostly at the latter part of his career because we know he didn't do anything really in Cleveland, right? But next on my list is John Madden, right? And the note I got for John Madden is very simple. He is the voice and the entertainment of the game. He has the best winning percentage of any coach that's ever coached 10 years in the National Football League. And we all log in on August and buy Madden every year for an absolute reason, right? You think about what he's done from a leadership perspective in Oakland. He's like 103 and like 30, if I was guessing off the top of my head, John Madden statistics, which is insanity, right, from a winning perspective. And we have never seen, a guy break down football the way John Madden has for people like us to watch on television to this day, right? And lastly on the list is a guy who wouldn't have made the list up until February was Andy Reid, right? Andy Reid has won over 200 games coaching, right, between Philly and Kansas City. He was easily one to consider probably the best players coach to ever happen. He just was a guy that didn't get it done, right? And here we are, right? He gets the right pieces to the puzzle and he gets that Super Bowl win. I don't think there is a greater play caller ever in the sport of football than Andy Reid. So to see him finally get that Super Bowl win after he was devastated with the heartbroken Donovan McNabb running out of energy game against New England, Andy Reid has finally made that list, and he is the one guy I would ever consider an offensive genius in the NFL. So that's my 4. Got Belichick, Lombardi, Madden, and Andy Reid.
All right. Vince Lombardi, Bill Belichick, John Madden, and Andy Reid. Florida, you're on the clock.
All right. So definitely got a couple of redundant names for sure. First and foremost, you already know I got to rep my set and go with Don Schuler without a doubt. Number 1, the GOAT as far as I'm concerned. Y'all have laid it out already, all the accolades and whatnot, but it comes down to being able to stake your claim as the one and only perfect team in all of sports, not even, just the NBA, all the professional sports. So that's a crowning achievement to lay your head on, and we got to go with Don Schuler, number 1. Number 2, Bill Walsh, same thing, like all y'all said, an innovator. One thing I will say to kind of further the point that y'all have driven in with the West Coast offense, changing the way football was played up until that point is, kind of, I feel like a lot of the different offenses that we've seen since then have all been some kind of, variation of the West Coast offense, it being the base to be able to establish all these other fun and gun, kind of spread offenses and whatnot. So without a doubt, he's on there too. I'm going to go with the hoodie in Foxborough as well. I can't be a hater and leave him off the list. One of the things I will say that even as a Dolphin fan, someone who has been tormented by this dude's team for years and years and years now, decades. So one of the things I'll say that I do appreciate and admire about his skill set and his talent is that no matter who you put in there so far, he's been able to make it work. And even at the most important position, being quarterback, we've seen him have to go with other guys and make it work. So I think with, this year, not even just this year, going forward, however many more years he decides to coach up there, we'll really get to see what he's truly made of, as he obviously has to do it with a different guy at quarterback. So that for me is what's most impressive, the revolving pieces, the chess games that he's able to play with roster personnel to make it work. Last but not least, being the old head in the room, I had to go way, way back and dig in the crates. I had to pull out a name that I expected, nobody was going to necessarily call out, go pre-merger even. I thought about Lambeau, Lombardi, even Landry. I almost landed on Paul Brown. And one of the things, the reason why I didn't land on Paul Brown specifically is the biggest mistake he's made in his career was not choosing Bill Walsh to take over for him in Cincinnati. We all know what happened with him going to San Francisco. Bill Walsh ended up being something like 5-0, I believe it was, against Cincinnati, beating them in a Super Bowl as well. So if he was a successor there, who knows what we could be seeing from the Cincinnati franchise. But I ultimately landed on George Hollis, legendary coach for the Chicago Bears. I want to say he coached for about 40 years. He has coached the most games in history at 497, and with that still managed to maintain a 682 win percentage, I believe it is. 31 of those 40 years that he coached, he managed to have his team at the top 3 of the league, doing it 15 years in a row. So definitely want to give, and six championships as well. Again, being prior to the merger, I got to make sure I go dig it in the crates and give one of these old guys his flowers.
All right. So George Hallis, Bill Belichick, Bill Walsh, and Don Schuler. Anyone surprising? I saw Paul the Great laugh at the Tony Dungy pick. And you were.
I mean,
it's always Travis. They try to blame me, but it's always Travis.
When someone tells you a coach is on Mount Rushmore because of the culture, you should immediately void the pick because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Tony
has he not helped improve the status of black coaches in the NFL? Look at his tree. There was Lovie Smith. Travis, there was Herm Edwards. There was Mike Tomlin.
Travis, those are guys that also are no longer coaching in the sport. And African American
Leslie Frazier
are not getting hired. So what do you do for the culture?
They all got their opportunity because of Tony Dungy.
Travis.
They all got the opportunity because of Tony Dungy.
Rooney did more for
Jim Caldwell.
Travis.
Okay.
Travis.
Like, come on now. They all got their opportunities because of Tony Dungy.
Okay, Tim.
Can I answer the question first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rooney has done more for African American coaches in football than Tony Dungy. Don't believe.
Okay, but Tony Dungy was the one that put these guys in the pipeline and gave them, so they had the opportunity. We all see that it comes to the pipeline nowadays with this coaching tree.
Travis,
we all see that.
Okay, hold on one second.
Great players will be found by the NFL.
Tim, what are your thoughts on the Tony Dungy pick? Is that pretty outrageous or no?
I cannot believe you just used Jim Caldwell as a reason to justify Tony Dungy.
First of all, he's the last guy to do anything with the Lions, and got fired for that. So
he's the last guy.
He's obviously a better coach than we thought he was because he took the sorry Lions to the playoffs and then got fired.
He's the last coach that I think of when I think greatest. I just put.
I never said they were great. I just said the coaching tree. He helped develop them and put.
And one other thing I wanted to add to that question, Carl. As you seen me speak a week ago on the quarterback Mount Rushmore, I told you who my favorite player of all time is, Peyton Manning, right? And I am here to tell you, when we talk about players who teams that have underachieved, right, in the modern era, the Colts are one of the greatest underachievers in NFL history, right? You're talking like a 7-year stretch of 10 wins, 12 wins, 14 wins, 13 wins, home field advantage, 1 Super Bowl. That's all I'm going to say.
So
Tony
basically,
Dungy is not the guy.
they're the Boston.
We can't all
So
put that on
basically,
Tony
they're the
Dungy right there.
KG era Celtics, is what you're saying. They're the KG era Celtics.
No, they're better than the KG era Celtics.
Definitely
We
better.
can't all put that. I'll put that more on the GM and Bill Polian than I put it on Tony Dungy.
Okay, Rick, what are your thoughts on Tony Dungy? Does he belong on any Mount Rushmore list?
Look, I feel like, we definitely always going to see one of these fringe guys kind of get tossed up there just to kind of be mentioned and, like be able to tell a story. I don't think Tony Dungy is one of the guys we want to kind of use in that route. I will give Travis credit for going with the all culture team so far of Tony Dungy, Chris Carter, and Randall Cunningham 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's so true.
He is not allowed next year.
Could you imagine?
That's the all culture team right there. That's the all culture Mount Rushmore.
You put Ty Law on the list. So I want to hear, Paul. You put Ty Law on the Mount Rushmore list.
Ty Law over Randall Cunningham.
Was there anybody in consideration? I know Rick touched upon some of the people in consideration. Was there anyone that you really wanted to put on the list but just didn't make it? Tim, anyone?
I'll say, hold on, let me go first real quick. I was about to actually jump into that when I was saying about Dungy, or kind of in regards to the pick of Andy Reid. Before I went with Hollis, I nearly thought to put Marty Schottenheimer up there, but without a ring, I couldn't justify it. But offensive genius, that man sure was. I think he definitely didn't get his due. He might have got pushed out of the league a little bit too early, in my opinion. But I would have definitely, I thought about putting Marty Schottenheimer up there.
Tim, anybody almost crossed your list but just didn't make the cut?
Yeah, and Rick actually said it's George Hollis for one. I mean, 40 years in any career is impressive. I mean, in the NFL especially, is just incredibly vitriol. Like, you lose for 2 years, they already want you out of town. Just look at the Giants. I mean, they were going through coaches like it's nobody's business. And the 6 NFL championships, helping with the team in Decatur too. He's an NFL pioneer. He definitely came across my mind as somebody I should have considered.
Paul the Great, anyone that crossed off your list last minute?
Yeah, I mean, Bill Parcells for me. I just think about the impact that Bill Parcells had on implementing defense and strategy and structure, and also winning, right? In 2 different places. I mean, Parcells was definitely on my list. I don't even know many people who won in multiple, settings, I should probably say, is Parcells.
Travis, is there anyone on your list?
Andy Reid, I almost put him on the list, but he's on that Bill Walsh tree, so I'd rather give it to Bill Walsh than Andy Reid.
Okay. So now it's judgment time. Tim, I'll give you the first pick. So who out of your 4 will make the ultimate hit list?
Out of my 4 coaches, I think, in my opinion, it has to be Bill Belichick. 6 titles is an incredible feat, and 9 appearances in the Super Bowl, and what can only really be described as a reign of terror when he was in charge there. I mean, Rick, you're a Dolphins fan. You always had to go through Belichick. He always stood in the way, and that's an opinion shared by Jets and Bills fans and really all AFC. If it weren't for Bill Belichick, we may not be laughing at Travis's pick of Tony Dungy. He may have missed out on 3 to 4 Super Bowls because Bill Belichick got in the way and squashed him.
I like this guy. I like him.
All right, let's go. Paul the Great. So we got Bill is already in. Paul the Great, you're on the clock. Who are you putting in?
John Madden.
John Madden. Rick?
Wow. I'd love to get Hollis up there, but I got to make sure Don Schuler's up there. I can't trust Travis with that, so.
Don Schuler. So, okay, Travis, I'm going to tell you who's on the list. Don Schuler, John Madden, and Bill Belichick are on the list. You get the final pick. Who's making it?
Bill Walsh. I got to put him on that list, man. That coaching tree he has is just remarkable. What he's done for the game. He's got to make it.
Okay, so Bill Walsh, Don Schuler, John Madden, and Bill Belichick. Are we satisfied with this list?
I'm not 100% satisfied.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, who you want?
Then take John Madden off.
I mean, Tim isn't either. I mean, Could I just ask a serious question, right? Because we know what John Madden's impact is, right? When it matters, right? Do you think Don Schuler had a greater coaching career than Vince Lombardi? It's a serious question. It's serious,
absolutely.
because I don't.
Absolutely.
Don Schuler coached like 33 years. Like he's like the all-time.
He had a lot of losing in 33 years. Is my point.
Okay, so here's the question.
Wait. So Paul's not happy. Tim, are you happy with the final list?
No, I can't put John Madden in with Vince Lombardi.
Thank you.
Madden is the one that gotta go.
John Madden,
the one gotta go.
Madden is the one that gotta go.
John Madden got video games. Lombardi got the trophy, the Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah,
it's levels to it. Tell him. It's levels to it.
Don Schuler has none of it.
Listen, okay.
Don Schuler has an undefeated season.
Don Schuler
wait a minute.
Don Schuler's on the list.
Don Schuler is perfect.
Oh my God, guys.
Hang on.
Go ahead. What can you say? Go ahead.
The other issue I got is I would also take John Madden's decade, right, over Bill Walsh. And can I explain to you why?
Oh,
I'll hear it.
The nonsense.
On every Mount Rushmore, we had a San Francisco 49er at the quarterback position. In some cases, two of them. The greatest receiver, arguably one of the greatest offensive players of all time, and Jerry Rice is on everybody's list.
Not mine.
Could I be weird by saying Bill Walsh just also happened to get lucky and have some of the most talented players of all time? I mean, he had seasons where they ran for 3,000 yards with guys like Roger Craig. Craig running for 7 yards a carry. The greater defenses that were loaded. I could argue that the 49ers had the greatest GM in NFL history. Could Bill Walsh kind of be a little overrated, though?
Professor, tag me in. Tag me in, Professor.
You're tagged, student.
Thank you. First of all, the nonsense you just is his system is still a principle in the NFL of today.
At all,
the West Coast system is a principle of football. Would you like me to run down his coaching tree that's still currently in the league?
Show me.
Like, do you need me to do that?
Okay, but wait a minute.
Do you need me to do that for you?
Guys, listen, I would love to have – I don't know if we have the time for that, Travis. Because, again, we have to – so we're not satisfied. Paul, are you sacrificing John Madden for Vince Lombardi?
That is the one that got to go.
Out of the respect for football and playing for the Linvet Packers Little League football in Ozone Park, Queens, and winning 4 years in a row, there is absolutely no way I'm allowing Vince Lombardi to not make this list. So if John Madden is the guy, then hey, John Madden gets sacrificed. I mean, that's just me being the
end. That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's just you making a smart decision. You don't get credit for making good decisions.
You put Tony
you don't get credit for making good decisions.
Okay, so we got Bill Walsh, Don Shula, Vince Lombardi, and Bill Belichick. Are we satisfied with this list?
I'm satisfied.
I'm
satisfied.
We got Mr. Perfect up there.
Yo, can we split Don Shula's fingers?
No.
We don't do splits.
Listen. Hold on. Listen.
Splitting Don Shula.
Hold on.
He won a 4A.
You got a 4B.
What does it look like?
Coming at my guy, bro, for real. Like
no. But
all
listen,
of the accolades.
Listen, Dan Marino made it last week.
Come on.
Yeah, Dan Marino made it last week. So, and you weren't upset about that one. So, I mean, we can't sit here and do that to Shula either, right?
Only undefeated season with a Super Bowl.
One and only.
You might recall that I had Drew Brees over Dan Marino from a Mount Rushmore perspective because winning matters. But I was
Don Shula won.
But I was okay. So did John Madden. But I was okay with the idea and the notion that Dan Marino and his physical ability put him on the list. I was okay with that.
All right.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is why I'm here, to make sure that y'all don't leave Marino and Shula off these mountains.
You know what? Rick did a good job. I'm going to call this here, okay? Some behind-the-scenes politics. I'm going to be straightforward with the fans and let them know. When we were deciding who gets to make what segment, Rick already had. He's like, I got to be on the quarterback one. I got to be on the coaches one. I got to be on the wide receiver one. I wonder why.
It just tells you how bad the history of the Miami Dolphins
Right.
is.
He picked the only one. He picked the only one you could get a Dolphin on.
But they on, ain't they? They
definitely made it. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for helping me with this 8-part series. I'm so appreciative of how it turned out. It turned out wonderful. People loved it. If you haven't watched the entire series, please log on to our YouTube channel and go to the playlist, and you could definitely see it. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the Sports Hit List by the fans, for the fans. Make sure you check us out on Wednesdays live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We have baseball, Mount Rushmore on deck. Travis or Rick, will I be seeing you on any of those, or are you guys done?
I'm tapping out. I'm good.
Thank God.
So we got a 9-part baseball one coming soon, and following.
But I watch.
Leading into
definitely,
October,
definitely.
we're gonna have the NBA one, and then to close out the year, we'll have the pro wrestling one. Thank you guys for joining me. You guys stay well and stay safe.